Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder, and I have another Reddit AITA story for you. This one is, am I the astronaut for walking out of the airport when I saw my husband's mom standing there with her luggage? I, female 30, don't have the best relationship with my husband's mom. Since day one, she tried to make remarks and compare me to her, ? She then tried to get on my good side and started overly praising everything I do and sometimes even copying me, like that one time she literally dyed her hair purple just like mine. And when everyone pointed out how ridiculous she looked, she actually blamed me and accused me of trying to make a joke out of her. So anyways, my husband and I took 2 weeks off work to go visit some places out of the country. Tourism, in other words. Thing is, I was the one who saved up for and arranged the trip. My husband was responsible for booking the tickets. My husband's mom wanted to come along and threw temper tantrums when I said no. She called, texted, sent people to talk to me into letting her come, even threatened to call the police and make some complaint up just to get us to stay if she can't come. My husband said we should just take her, but I told him he was wrong to tell her about the trip in the first place. He gave me an ultimatum, said he wouldn't go if she can't come, and I told him I'd gladly call his bluff, which made him take his words back and say, "Fine, I'll tell her to stop it because we won't take her." Things got quieter. Suspiciously quieter. The day of the trip came and we got to the airport at 2 p.m. My husband was walking ahead of me and was looking left and right like he was looking for someone. I asked him, but he didn't respond. He led me to the waiting area and first thing I saw was his mom standing there with her luggage. I froze in my spot. I felt a cold wave washing over me and I was fuming inside. She and my husband were hugging, and that's when I quietly turned around and started walking towards the exit. My husband followed me while shouting at me to stop. He tried to stop me, but I told him off the harshest way possible. He tried to say I was overreacting and that his mom was there anyway, and I should let it go and not mess the trip up for us. I told him he and his mom could still go and that I was going home. I went home and sobbed into my dog's fur for several minutes. Turned out he booked her a ticket without me knowing. An hour later, he came home yelling and raging about how pathetic and spiteful I was to walk out and go home and ruin the trip last minute. I told him he caused this to happen. He said that I was being so hard on his mom and it's ridiculous. I refused to fight anymore, but he kept on berating me, then called my family to tell them that the trip was canceled and that it was because of me. My family said that I shouldn't have ruined it for myself and should have sucked it up and done my best to enjoy. Did I really overreact? You had one job, dude, and you didn't do it. He had one job to book tickets that didn't include his mommy, and he couldn't pull it off. I guess the possible paths here are, if you plan on staying married to this guy, you can't give him any kind of responsibilities because he's weak. He can't fight his mom. He can't withstand her manipulation. He's going to do whatever she wants him to do. And that is actually going to be problematic at several milestones in your life. If you ever have kids, you're never going to be able to trust him because he's simply a puppet for your mother-in-law. And she has no problem trying to insert herself into everything that you are doing, obviously. Either he's got to nut up and be able to draw some boundaries and not be the puppet of his mommy, or your relationship is doomed. I don't know how you ended up getting married in the first place. Surely you knew who he was before getting married, so this is a conversation that really needs to happen before getting married to say, okay, if we're going to have a successful marriage and life together, these are the boundaries that need to be drawn and this is what has to happen. But that's not what happened. You just went ahead and married the dude, and now you have a shit life because of it. But at this point, what are your options? Your options are really, like I said, it's either he nuts up and learns to create boundaries with his mommy and not let her invade every corner of your life, or your relationship is doomed. Those are the only two paths that I see here. She's not going to change, but you can create some space and some privacy that she doesn't have to invade all the time by getting him to actually recognize what's happening right now, because he thinks what he did is okay, and he came home basically saying his mom's words, but out of his mouth to you. He's a complete puppet right now. She's got her whole forearm so far up his ass to move his mouth that he doesn't even know what's happening here. He has to make drastic changes in order to save your marriage. It's not just this one thing, it's everything. But she's not going to change. He has to, or the status of your marriage has to. No, OP, you did not overreact. You are not the asshole in this scenario. If anything, you might be an asshole for not creating these boundaries before getting married, if you knew who she was before getting married. And I'm assuming that you did. But in this specific instance, no, you did not overreact at all. If anything, you need to react harsher right now. You reacted about the incident. You need to react about the root cause of this and prevent it from ever happening again, one way or another, with or without him.